we don't equate that. Oh, I said I was going to do this today, but I got a better offer. We just go, yeah, I'll go with the better offer. We don't think about, I am no longer keeping my word to myself. Are you ignoring your gut instincts? Are you stopping when you're done? It is a daily, multiple times a day choice that we make. We don't struggle with it because we're weak. We struggle with it because we're not aware. And we struggle with it because of all the evidence that shows we're not good at keeping our word to ourselves. Welcome back to Unapologetic Rabble-Rousers. I'm DocShellie.
And I'm Carla Lewis. Big question here.
Big.
Really big.
Huge.
Can you trust yourself yet?
Yes, I can.
Okay. And for those who have been on this journey with us over the last several episodes, where we have really been focused on things that get in the way of us being true to who we are, being able to participate in life as a participant and not someone who is saddled with responsibilities for everyone and everything's comfort and clarity and okayness. It's like, okay, so all of the things that have led us to things like the overfunctioning, we seem to be talking about that a lot lately. Letting everything else be much more important, much more valuable, much more meaningful than just our own being in the moment, and just having to prove that there's any kind of value in me just being a member of this human race. So we've talked a lot about the things that get in the way of that. So let's turn the conversation more toward what can we do to start building or build more on the trust that we have in ourselves, the trust that we have in that we are valuable. We are worthy because we have life, that it's not my responsibility that everybody else be happy and comfortable and taken care of. So can you trust yourself yet? And what does that look like?
Yeah, I think when we recognize that we can stop outsourcing everything, when we don't have to manage other people's expectations, we don't have to manage their reactions. That just means I'm left with me. And for a lot of people, that can be a really scary place to be.
Oh, yes. I mean, especially...
Go ahead.
Please, go ahead.
No, you were going to say something. Say it.
I was.
Say it.
That notion of being uncomfortable in one's own presence, in one's own skin, in standing firm on this planet, being able to be comfortable in one's own skin and stand firm on my place in this life. It's so interesting that has some people really unsettled. Then they're not exactly sure who they are once they get rid of all of the pretense, all of the responsibilities that they've been carrying that weren't really theirs in the first place. So I think that's huge.
Yeah, and I think for some people it's just as simple as, do you keep your word to yourself? And probably, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago, I went on this journey of, why do I keep my word to everyone else but me? Like, I would get up in the morning and I'd make my little plan for the day and I'd be like, okay, I'm going to do 2 loads of laundry. I'm going to clean up the kitchen. I'm going to go for a run. I don't know why I used to run. Dumbest thing ever for me. I'm going to go run some errands or whatever. And then I might just sit on the couch all day and watch TV, or I might just read a book, or I might get a better offer and be like, screw that. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. I'm going to go out and go to a movie. So it became like, why am I saying yes to everyone else? I'm not saying yes to me. So there was a lot of that questioning of, It wasn't as deep as I didn't know who I was. It wasn't as deep as I don't have any meaning in my life. It was, why am I not keeping my word to myself? So for me, it was like a different level of trust than I think it is for some other people. I think there's layers of how we trust ourselves, how we show up.
I think that the question that just popped for me as you were saying that is, why do I even have to think about trusting myself? I mean, what's with that? Where do we get to a point where trusting yourself is a choice?
It's a daily choice. Every decision you make. Are you saying yes when you mean no? Are you ignoring your gut instincts? Are you stopping when you're done? Are you like it is a daily, multiple times a day choice that we make. We don't think about it. We don't equate that. Oh, I said I was going to do this today, but I got a better offer. We just go, yeah, I'll go with a better offer. We don't think about, I am no longer keeping my word to myself because I said I was going to do it. Can I do both? Sometimes it's an either or situation. Like we don't process that as I'm not keeping my word to myself in that one particular example, but we could come up with thousands of examples. But we're basically teaching ourselves my voice doesn't matter. Everyone else is more important than me.
And there's a why that goes unspoken there. On that question of why
because it's what we've
is everyone
done.
else.
It's what we've always done.
That's not good enough.
It is learned behavior.
Yeah.
Why is it not good enough, Carla? Let's go there.
I think that the why it's not good enough is that it's what's behind that it's because it's what we've always done, which suggests that I don't have the capacity for an evolution of thought and behavior and practice. If I don't have an impetus to address that, if I don't have a reason to consider that, well, yeah, because, and all of the things we've talked about in previous conversations about taking care of everyone else, it's what they expect and blah, blah, blah. But being able to just be aware that, yeah, actually, it does come down to me deciding I'm not going to not just trust myself, I'm not going to respect myself. I'm not going to respect my wants and needs in light of anything and everything else around me. And you said, I'm going to take the better offer, which I think that's probably a big piece of that's not good enough. Because what makes the different offer better than the one you had already struck with yourself?
Oh, because it might be more fun. It might get me off the hook for doing things I don't want to do, yada, yada, yada. But let's normalize this for a minute.
Okay, let's normalize it.
We don't trust ourselves because we have a ton of evidence.
I think you were going to
good.
That's okay. A shit ton of evidence. I'll say it for you.
A ton of evidence that would suggest I shouldn't trust myself.
Mm.
Because for decades, people have done things like, I didn't listen to myself. Stayed at that party longer than I wanted to. I chose this over that. I abandoned myself. If other people do that to you, if other people don't listen to you, if other people don't show up for you, do we trust them to show up next time? No. So when you do it to yourself, why would you trust yourself to show up for you the next time? Habit brain is going, no.
Why should I trust you?
Why should I? Why should you keep your word to yourself when you haven't done it before? And yet we could probably find times where we all have done it before. But our habit brain is going, nope. You say yes when you mean no more often than not. You stay longer in conversations. You stay longer in relationships than you should. And you know that. So no. You shouldn't trust yourself. Like, there's a ton of evidence to show why we shouldn't trust ourselves.
And because our brain doesn't know falsehood from truth, it just thinks everything is truth. You tell it the stuff you tell it, it says, okay, that must be true.
Yeah.
And by taking those actions, inference is you're not important. And your decisions are just interesting because they don't pan out. You'll say yes to anybody else before you'll say yes to you.
Yeah.
So
we don't struggle with it because we're weak. We struggle with it because we're not aware. And we struggle with it because of all the evidence that shows we're not good at keeping our word to ourselves. You go back to it starts with awareness.
Yeah. I
So
think that
the self-trust starts to happen when you keep promises to yourself.
okay. Keeping promises to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's where we get stuck because that's uncomfortable. And it can also be really loud inside your head.
You've heard that, haven't you?
Yeah.
On the outside from next. I think I've actually heard it from you as well. But okay, so if we get stuck there in this loudness coming from not just the being stuck, but being uncomfortable in the awareness that that's where we are. What do we need to be looking at? What do we need to be considering? Me, myself, and I, as we meet the board of directors, right? What do we do with that?
Me, you, yourself, and you need to pay attention to the quieter voice. Underneath all the noise, there is a quiet voice. I liken it to how people always talk about the good angel and the bad angel, or the devil and the angel, right? The devil's going to be really loud, or the bad angel is going to be really loud.
Yeah.
What does the other side say? It's that quiet voice that's underneath all the noise that is probably telling you, this isn't it. This is what you should be doing. You need to start small. One little thing that you could do differently.
Okay.
Small.
That's big.
I've been working on this for 10 years. I still don't keep my word to myself all the time. I'm making myself a plan. I'm making myself a plan. God. I make a plan almost every day. I tell myself every month, 90% of the days in this month are going to have a plan. Sometimes it's 70%. Sometimes it's 100%. But I try to make a daily plan. And within that daily plan, one of the things I write down is I'm becoming someone who consistently keeps her word to herself. Because in 10 years, I still don't do it consistently. I do it much more than I used to. But there are still moments where I need to reorganize my kitchen. I've been telling myself that for 2 months. Every Saturday, I'm going to spend an hour reorganizing my kitchen. I have yet to spend an hour and any day of the week reorganizing my kitchen, let alone a Saturday. I'm like, at some point, I just need to stop telling myself that.
Well, there's a decision. That's a decision, right? You trust yourself in saying, you know what? It hasn't worked yet, so I'm just going to stop believing that shit.
But it could be something as simple as I have friends that will go to parties and they don't want to be the last one to leave, but they can't leave the room. Whether it's, oh my God, if they leave, they're going to talk about me. I don't know what's going to happen. I need to leave at 7:00. Next thing you know, it's 8. Pickleball is I play pickleball sometimes at 7:00. I know anyone who's listening to me is going to be like, you get out of bed to play pickleball at 7 a.m.? Yes, I do. Oftentimes on Saturdays and Sundays, you can find me at 7 a.m. on the pickleball court. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard somebody say, I got to leave at 9:00. And at 9:01, they're like, oh, just one more game. At 9:20, just one more game. 9:30, oh, screw it. I'm just going to keep playing. So I'm guilty of it myself. I'm like, I got to leave by 10 today. And then it's 10:15. Shelly, can you play one more? Sure. So we don't, just in those small moments, like in those small moments, we're not building trust for ourselves because we're not keeping our word. Yes, I'm staying because I'm having fun. Yes, it's a conscious decision. Also recognize that I said I was going to leave at whatever time and I did not. And think about if other people are doing that to you, what does your brain do? It doesn't go, oh, that's so cute. I can't trust them anymore. No, your brain is like, what the hell? They said they'd be here at 10. They're not here. What is going on? So our brains just collect that evidence. You're not good at keeping your word to yourself. And it's those small, everyday decisions where we can choose differently and start to build trust for ourselves. Those little tiny moments create the self-loyalty that we need in order to be able to trust ourselves with the big things, let alone the little things.
You stack up enough little things, there's a foundation, a strong foundation then, that you get to step up and from that foundation be able to take on the next set of maybe not so little things.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is taking those small moments and not just making the commitments and holding to it, but we also talked about this in one of our episodes, is we need to celebrate when we have done something that is out of the ordinary for us by a conscious choice and having stood tall and strong in making that choice, whatever size, and being able to say, I did it and I didn't die and nobody got pregnant. So I'm good. That was okay. I survived it. And I do think that for some people, it's going to take those small steps, but every step is a step forward. Every step is in that, you said, I am becoming. Every day we are growing stronger in our attention to and loyalty to self and our own needs.
Yeah. And in all of that is our nervous system playing a big role, right? Because our body keeps score. Our nervous system knows.
Yes.
So in order to rebuild that trust, like some people are going to wait to feel ready, but those little micro actions are what gets you ready so that your nervous system and your brain working in combination will start collecting evidence that says, oh yeah, I can keep my word to myself. Oh yeah, I can trust myself. And then when somebody says to you, can you trust yourself? Like you started the podcast and I said, yes, I can. I'm still working on it, but I believe it. 10 years ago, I wouldn't have believed it.
Because it is true in that moment. We don't have to be 100% there on every level with every whatever. If you wait for that, you will never start.
Right. It's
so being able to
the action creates the trust. So you've got to take the action.
Yes.
And do it in micro bites. Choose yourself. Honor the boundaries. Funny how boundaries come up yet again. Follow through on what you say matters, even if it's uncomfortable. Just those little micro bites of action will create the action you have that will create the trust that you need for yourself.
And then you can answer to the question, do you trust yourself yet? The answer can be, oh, yes.
Indeed.
Well, with that, I'm Carla Lewis.
I'm DocShellie. We'll see you next time. If other people don't listen to you, If other people don't show up for you, do we trust them to show up next time? No. So when you do it to yourself, why would you trust yourself to show up for you the next time?